barely driven it. I still got knobbies on the tires. So. Yeah, he went for a ride.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm picking up a buggy from a subscriber. He lives in Kansas, which is 11 hours away, but we're meeting halfway. So guys, we got a long drive ahead of us. Let's go ahead and hop in.
It's some cheap Chinese buggy that's probably supposed to have a 9-horse motor with a single-speed transmission. I just decided it wasn't fast enough, so I put on a GSXR 600 out of a Suzuki. Kind of determined that you need to have most of the rest of the bike in order to make it work easier. So it's got all the factory controls. I called it the Franken buggy, but one of my buddies called it the Chariot of Death. I think
Very appropriate name.
I think I went.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, he went for a ride.
I went for a ride, I know.
I think I went 65 miles an hour in second gear one time and decided I didn't need to use the other gears. So my kids are going to college and stuff. Didn't feel right selling it to anyone, but I knew you could probably handle it. So it's all yours. Yes.
Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Be going towards a good cause here.
A good cause.
It's free real estate.
Well, I hope you don't hurt yourself on it.
I won't.
I know you won't. I saw you go through McDonald's on the go-kart once. That was pretty cool. The filters on
What
it.
year is it? The
I
motor?
think it's 2006. My dad owns a muffler shop in Wichita, Kevin's American Muffler, and we just grabbed some muffler off some Honda. We just stuck it on here. It is a little sketchy, so.
It does run. It runs well.
The harnesses are good. I hope you don't need the fire extinguisher, but it's there. Needs better suspension, and it needs better brakes, and it needs a better owner across the back. I'm too scared of it. I'm giving it to this guy, Vasily. He's got a YouTube channel where he builds.
You sold it?
No, I'm donating it because I wouldn't feel good selling it. So I'm afraid.
He has some YouTube videos
5.5 hours to meet
hot
the
rod
transfer.
stuff he's made, and
Here we
it's,
go. Dude, I got a big old field in my backyard. You can go test it out.
We got a little battery issue on it right now, but I believe it's
So
oriented.
usually
back.
it would sit more forward.
Yes. Well, it would rotate a little more forward.
Barely.
barely.
It's a tight fit.
You ever want to get rid of it, he'll probably buy it from you.
I told him, I said, my condition is you can't sell it for money. But you can tear it up and use the hell out of it.
Well, then when he's done with it, he can donate it to us.
Yeah, this thing is a unit. Why are you giving this buggy to me?
I'm very interested in the next generation that are coming up and starting to build and fabricate stuff. I was doing this kind of stuff when I was probably your age as well. I would rather give it to someone that can do something with it than well, these guys are wanting to buy it, so than even sell it to someone else who already has something like it. Or, like I said, I think you're a talented kid, and I'm looking forward to see what you can do with it.
Appreciate it again.
You're welcome.
I'll be sure to keep you updated.
I'm liked and subscribed, and I hit the bell for notifications.
That's awesome.
So I'm in good shape there.
So that was an 11-hour round trip, and we finally got this beast here in the garage. So looking at the front, it looks like a regular dinky little Chinese buggy. But then when you come over to the back right here, that motor is almost a third the size of the buggy. But I actually want to hear it run, and all it needs is a battery and some fresh gas. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap that over. It has a drag racing jack shaft right there, and then a fully straight pipe with the resonator. This thing is gonna sound like an F1 car. 6,500 miles, guys. It's pretty low. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna let it warm up. ITB's for you. Check that out. I don't think I have one of those master links, but yeah, this thing sounds amazing. it's time I drive it. I'm just gonna feel it out at first. It's pretty sketchy, but yeah, this thing actually has kill switch. This thing starts right up. Purrs. This thing is way too sketchy. As you can see, I put on better wheels in the front, so hopefully it shouldn't be as squirrely, because this thing was all over the place. Guys, we made it here to a property. The weather is looking nice. As you can see, we're pretty much in the middle of nowhere. We'll go ahead and let this thing warm up, and then we'll go ahead and take it for a rip. Now that we got this thing going about 60 on the road, I think it's time we do a little bit of off-road ripping. Fortunately, this gear shifter broke, and I don't have anything to fix it with. Let me just say it's geared way too high for off-road, but I'll see if I can make it work. I think that's enough ripping for today. It got really squirrely on me. I was probably going about 60. With the really crappy suspension and the tall gearing, off-roading is impossible, guys. So the way to fix that would just be to redo that whole jack shaft and just gear it way lower than what it is. Sean was just telling me how he couldn't fit a bigger sprocket in there, so that's why the gearing's kind of high. I'll put this thing up and I'll catch you at the house. Again, I want to give a big shout out to my subscriber Sean for giving me this whole thing for free. It's really crazy, just really awesome, and I'm humbled by it. So thank you very much, Sean. Now Sean has a family and he was only working with what he had. That being said, he did do a pretty good job with the fabrication on this buggy. Like, I checked out some of the welds and they look pretty nice. I figure now it's time to discuss the plans and the fate of this buggy. I want to leave it up to y'all, but here's what I'm thinking. At first, my idea was make this thing street legal, build it for the track, and take it to the drag strip. But actually, I have a better plan. I'm going to pull this motor out of this frame and start from scratch and build a new frame, make it super track oriented, and it'll be my first venture into high performance builds. But I do want to keep it a two-seater. The thing about a Chinese buggy is you're always working on it. In fact, you spend more time working on it than riding it. So I could literally nitpick about 100 things I don't like about this buggy. Some of you guys might say this would be better as an off-road build, but I totally disagree because we already have 2 off-road builds and this motor only has like 20 foot-pounds of torque. Well, actually it has like 44, but I mean that's going to be plenty for the street, but for the off-road. So I think the best thing to do with this thing is to do a street/track build. I did actually go to the DMV and ask what it would take to make this thing street legal. Actually not that hard, so whatever this motor ends up on, I do want to get it street legal.
Guys, holy crap. Yeah, I'm good. Well, that's why he called this thing sketchy. Check that out, guys.